There's just something magical about musicals from the golden age of Hollywood. From Wizard of Oz to Top Hat to Singing in the Rain to Meet Me in St. Louis, there's just something wondrous and special about those Technicolor sets, those loud and catchy show numbers, and seeing hordes of really well-dressed and elaborately costumed people fast on their feet in grand displays of choreography. One of the enduring icons of this era was legendary song and dance man Gene Kelly, who would also enjoy choreography and even directing duties from time to time on said films. Despite the breezy material he often worked on, he was a noted perfectionist and hard worker who forced the bar higher and higher on each production. So, how does Anchors Aweigh maintain this upward trend? Or does it not? Set during the closing days of World War II, Anchors Aweigh is the tale of the romantic hijinks of sailors Joe and Clarence, who are given shore leave in Hollywood and decide to see the sights. As it turns out, Clarence is not one who has much luck with the ladies, so he gets the more amorous Joe to help him out. As luck would also have it, a young boy with dreams of joining the Navy is taken in by police, and Joe is drafted in to try and make the child see sense. Failing that, he takes the boy home to find that he has a rather beautiful aunt, and, well, misunderstandings, song, and dance ensue. Like many MGM musicals, the film boasts a vibrant color palette, making use of Technicolor to its fullest extent, with a rather fitting emphasis on blues and reds given the Navy, and the artificiality of the soundstage sets is actually helped by the film's actual incorporation of the MGM studios as a location in the film. Veteran director George Sidney, who had also helmed Three Musketeers with Gene Kelly, imbues the film with surprisingly inspired direction, often having the camera move about the vast sets to add a kinesia with the really well choreographed dancing, with special props going towards the really well coordinated opening dance with the sailors, or using reflective objects such as polished pianos or camera lenses to show us other characters in the scene and create a sense of space within the screen without relying on constant wide and establishing shots as would be the norm. And well, it would be amiss if I didn't mention the film's most iconic sequence where Gene Kelly enters a fantasy land while telling a story to children and dances with none other than Jerry Mouse from the Tom and Jerry cartoons. Even after so many decades, it still holds up as both an entertaining and lively sequence, featuring some of Kelly's most energetic dancing, as well as a technical marvel of Jerry being perfectly in sync with his human co-star, and Hanna-Barbera even had the forethought to animate Jerry's reflection in the floor. It may seem small, but details like that make all the difference in giving the sequence its credibility. The actual musical score, however, while not bad by any means, just lacks the pizzazz of its visuals, and compared to a lot of its contemporaries in the MGM library, Anchors Aweigh's soundtrack just feels more routine. It's a decent collection of upbeat tunes there to push the story forward or be amusing, and they often are, but they lack a catchiness found in the likes of Singing in the Rain or Oz. The Worry song and the title theme are probably the best of the bunch, and that's only because in the case of the former it accompanies the animation set piece, while the latter is repeated a couple of times. But finally getting off that boat, the performers here are playing archetypes and they completely embrace it, with Kelly and Sinatra making for a charismatic team of the manic lover and the shy but sweet dweeb, and they do play off each other really well. Katherine Grayson is suitably graceful and warm as Susie, the overworked aunt and aspiring actress, while Dean Stockwell adequately conveys cute and energetic as the young boy who idolizes Joe, and has some good timing with Kelly that allows for a few amusing bits of hero worship. And then, in an interesting side role, is famed 30s and 40s musician Jose Iturbi, playing himself as the studio's main composer, and it's essentially your typical artistic genius quasi-sage character you might better know from later films like, say, Il Postino or IQ, who comes in and helps our characters when they are in a jam. Still, he manages to hold himself well and conveys the combination of prim and prissiness that goes with an artist, while having a jovial quality that does make him a likable screen presence. Indeed, all of the prior very much summarized the film as a whole, very archetypical safe fluff. It's very much a cut-and-dry happy accident leads to unlikely love narrative that forms the backbone of many melodramas of the era. Every beat you can see coming 10 miles away. The cute kid, the misunderstood telephone call, the late wake up, the important character confused for another guy. It's all here. Thankfully, what could have been just total dross is elevated by a healthy sprinkling of comedy throughout, especially between Kelly and Sinatra, that keeps things moving along when there isn't a song being played. And fair dues, some actually fairly touching moments when our lovelorn sailors realize there's more out there in life than just having a good time. It's by no means radical or deep, but it functions and is adequately moving. Frankly, the film's best moment is one that has nothing to do with the main story, which is the Jerry dance. It's here the film feels at its most inventive and charming as he tells the story to these children and has this rather sweet fable about the importance of fun to them. But beyond that, it is just a whole lot of been there, done that with the rest of the film, even by the standards of the time, and at nearly 2.25 hours, the film does sag at points, mainly around the middle, and the lack of a really winning musical number in that section in particular does exacerbate matters and can sometimes leave the proceedings feeling a little dry and, dare I say, a little dull. However, once the Jerry dance comes, the film picks itself right back up and gets back on track. And frankly, when it turns on the charm and corn, especially towards the beginning and the end, it's kinda hard not to get charmed by it. Not enough to perhaps make it equal to its contemporaries, but enough to make it agreeable viewing, and the Jerry dance is easily worth at least one pop-in. If you're not a convert to this type of film, this is not the one that will convince you. But if you already know what to expect and you already love this stuff, you'll have a very, very decent time with Anchors Aweigh.